110%.
Complete restart, refresh.
Yes.
G'day, I'm Blair Warner, and this is Danny Milner joining me for the Week 3 roundup of the National League. Yeah, we'll move on and get into the fixtures, and yeah. So, Auckland City, Western Suburbs. Gerald Garriga managed to avoid a second yellow against Birkenhead, scores a brace against Western Suburbs. And yeah.
I mean, should have been sent off the week before, come back to haunt Western Suburbs, pretty much.
Yeah.
Get some of the 3 points. Much needed for Auckland City, by the way. Like, they needed that to stay in the race. However, I think they're out of the race already.
Yeah. Harsh result for Western Suburbs, and then another arguably harsh result. Miramar Rangers blowing a 2-0 lead at halftime after dominating against Auckland United through Martin Bueno's magic.
Carl Herbert will be kicking himself after this game. I'm sure about that. They had that home and hose after being 2-0 up. 2 good goals from Martin Bruno, but Auckland United shown their strengths like they have done sometime during the season and getting 2 goals back late on. So yeah, they'll be hurting after that one, I'm sure, in Miramar Rangers.
Yeah, a big ding into what is arguably a bottom half team, snagging points off of them. And Wellington Phoenix reserves, their under-20s came back from the World Cup and showed their quality and got a bit of revenge over the team that got picked in the OPL ahead of them, beating Christchurch United 3-0 with Super Kingillian, 2 members of that under-20 World Cup squad, bagging goals.
I mean, it's always good to have your head coach back into the fray as well, and also having like Supic and Gillian coming back. It's 2 massive gets for the Phoenix reserves, and Christchurch United
GSR as well.
Yeah, GSR and all that. Christchurch United will be kicking themselves because they could have actually done something a little bit more, but they were just poor on the day, and the Phoenix reserves deserve that win.
Yeah, not the only Southern League team to struggle against Wellington opposition is Coastal Spirit, blown out of the water in the first half hour. Wellington Olympic just got into second gear and cruised along, though Coastal Spirit did give them a bit of a scare towards the end. Picked up a goal a bit after the hour mark and hit the post a couple of times late on. But I'd say Coastal Spirit's chances of grand final are pretty much done and dusted, if it wasn't already last week.
It was done and dusted after last week. I mean, unfortunately, we've seen the gaps between the 3 leagues coming out quite often now, with Olympic, a good team. They let the gas off after the first 30 minutes. They could have ran away with this game 6 or more. But Coastal put up a little bit of a good fight with getting a goal back, but ultimately Olympic were just too strong.
Yeah, and then rounding out the week was a game that I quite enjoyed watching. I love a good siege of a defence, and that's what Western Springs Auckland FC reserves were. Western Springs had all the possession, but Auckland FC came in with a game plan. They were ready to defend their goal with everything they had. Bidwai managed to poach one not long after the hour mark, but in the dying moments, Ben Wallace heads it back into the net after they had just been assaulting the Auckland FC defence and their goal, and they managed to salvage something out of that match.
It was a tale of how good is your defence for Auckland FC, and they had a pretty good showing of their defensive strength. And obviously that ball to Riley Bidwai, kind of, can you get a hold of this and then put it in the back of the net? Of course he did.
Jonty,
sorry. Fucking one of those nights. Western Springs fought back and got the goal that they ultimately deserved. They deserved all 3 points. They only got 1.
Yeah. I think that Nabenu Vasilic centre-back pairing will be one that you see often in the OFC Pro League coming later on, well, beginning of next year. They're Nabenu was originally touted to go into that third choice centre back spot during the Oz Cup, but ended up with a concussion, and we got to see Luka Viselic break through instead, which is great to hear. And then Birkenhead United with the bye, they'll probably take that rest after beating Auckland City 3-0. They're in a good spot at the moment, good chance to give Saskia an extra week to recover, and I'm not entirely sure what the story is with Donkers, with the Birkenhead commentators insinuating that he was training with Watford while he was got injured while training for Watford, so be interesting to see what happens on that front.
Yeah, watch the space.
Yeah, but the table, Wellington Olympic first, Birkenhead second, Christchurch third, Western Springs fourth, sort of rounds out what you kind of expected to be, in and about there. Miramar Rangers hanging on in there. That draw against Auckland United, I think, really could bite them in the arse. Then the two reserves teams in Western Suburbs, a little bit higher than I expected to be, as Auckland City and Coastal have just banana peeled and fallen all the way down the bottom of the league.
Birkenhead will be loving life after this bye week because they didn't drop a single position.
Yeah.
Everyone around them have to have a bye at some point, so they are going to get more points. They are going to climb that ladder. So they'll be loving life.
You could argue they have played Coastal Spirit in Auckland City. They're still yet to play Olympic. Yep. Christchurch United seem a bit wishy-washy, and Birkenhead, I watched the Nelson Suburbs game in the Chatham Cup. What a game you'd expect them to just walk over the opposition, and they just didn't turn up. That was with a full-strength team. Donkers, Susky, Phillip, all were available, and they still couldn't get over the line against them, So, maybe a plucky performance from another plucky performance from Auckland United, or maybe one of the reserves teams gets one over them.
Yep.
Yeah, so be interesting to see how they go.
And then I am utterly shocked at the moment with Auckland United and Auckland City where they are. Because I think week one I was saying they're going to be up the top of the table, and they're down the bottom of the table, and I can't see them picking up much points this weekend coming forward.
Yeah, I thought they'd be in and about that top four, but they have just, again, it's early on. They've only played 2 games and they won one of those, though it was a shaky win over arguably one of the worst National League sides. But yeah, anyway, speaking of next week, we'll pivot into match week 4. Opening us up, Wellington Olympic, Auckland City.
The Mediterranean Cup. It's a draw we are used to. I mean, National League final last year, Chatham Cup final last year. Funnily enough, the reigning Mediterranean Cup holders are Auckland City. Do I think Wellington Olympic will get the cup this year? Yes. I think Wellington Olympic have proven why they are on top of the table. They are perfect so far. They haven't, when they've conceded goals from their own doing. Olympic does have the home advantage. And yeah, Auckland City, I don't think they've been that good this year, especially after last week's showing.
Yeah, Prince and Bazookas have also been fantastic for them going forward, and City are going to be relying heavily on Nico Boxall and Christian Gray, who have performed well despite results, and yeah, Garriga is going to need to pull another big performance out in order to keep City's hopes alive, really. Yeah, and
100%.
Following that, Auckland FC Reserves versus Coastal Spirit.
AFC are coming off a really good point. I would say that's a really good point at this stage of the season.
The only thing I'd say about it is they're probably going to have to approach this game in a different way, because Coastal Spirit will probably, at this point, just be happy if Auckland FC sit off, I'd imagine 100%. There's probably they smell a bit of blood in the water, and likely going to chase after it. Ben Perez-Baldoni will be back after being with the under-17s, playing those matches against the Knicks under-17s, so maybe a bit of spark there off the bench. Still unconfirmed whether McKinley is going to be playing for the men's team on the weekend, so having him back will also be a big addition. Cody Phoenix, showed his worth last week defensively, going forward, created a couple of chances for us. It's one of those ones where like Coastal Spirit could finally click, hopefully for their sake. Otherwise, there might be a bit of...
It could be a long season for Coastal Spirit. It could be a long season.
Auckland FC is calling Aston Burns hat-trick, and honestly, the way he's been playing recently, I wouldn't put it past him. His raw pace alone is enough to, strike fear into defenders. It's going to be an interesting one. Definitely one to watch. And then moving on, Christchurch United versus Western Springs. I think Springs, this is their chance to really put the foot on the gas and try and chase after that grand final spot, because both of them are sort of, it's a 6-pointer. And look, Nick, we appreciate you coming, and I'm sure you'll score a goal once you come on, and it's already 6 goals down again. But I believe you. I reckon you'll score. How does that sound?
Nick, if you come on and score a goal and you guys win, I will apologize. I will message you and apologize to you, and I will say it on the stream next week. I apologize.
We'll get you on as a guest. How does that sound? Score a goal, you can come on.
Yeah. Look, the Christchurch United game is another game of the round. They're both wanting to bounce back after dropping points. It's a hard one to call, basically.
Yeah.
I would say maybe Springs. Maybe Springs.
Yeah, I think you can't go past that threat of Karunaratne, Stevens. If they set up the same way Auckland FC reserves do, I'd argue they have more firepower up front, It's
completely. Karunaratne's been so good for them in the first couple games.
Western Springs is going to have to travel all the way down to Christchurch as well. Could tee them up for a big result.
Traveling's a huge factor in this league.
Yeah.
It's such a short league, and you don't have that big of a turnaround. So,
yeah. And then Auckland United versus the Phoenix Reserves. I think the Phoenix Reserves are going to blow them out of the water. Walker and GSR aren't travelling with the first team. Neither is Luke Supik. They're going to come out there full team, guns blazing, and I think it could be another 3-0 kind of result, especially after how that friendly went for Auckland United against the Auckland FC Reserves without their under-20 internationals.
I hope the Phoenix go for it. Because I think if they go for it, they could get some delight. Because I think the backline and the midfield for Auckland United has been quite shaky this National League season. So,
yeah, there's goals to be had. Yeah, and then moving on to Western Suburbs Birkenhead. Again, I think this is another one where Western Suburbs could maybe shake the boat a bit. Like we already saw it with Auckland City, and Birkenhead not above a choke. They big choke in the Northern League this season. Choked against Nelson Suburbs, like we said earlier. A nice, tidy defensive performance from Western Suburbs. Get the ball into the channels from Nguyen and Barton Ginger, and Barton Ginger's shown what he can do with a half chance. Scored some amazing goals so far this season, and Keegan Smith he's gonna have to be on his toes in goal for Birkenhead.
I will go the opposite way. I think if Birkenhead turns up on the weekend, they will win this game. I mean, I saw it against the Auckland City game. They turned up and they blew Auckland City apart.
To be fair, that was after a red card in the 30th minute.
Yeah. So, but still, I think Birkenhead's midfield is one of the best in the National League. So it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully, Tucker's there. So yeah. So it's going to go either way. This tie is going to go either way, and also the Christchurch United, Western Springs. So
yeah.
Good games in the National League. I'm actually really enjoying it this year.
Yeah, there's some very fun matchups this week, especially. There's quite a bit on the line already. No one's quite. Olympic is the only team that's really broken away from the pack, but I could see Auckland City just knuckle down and get a big performance this week and just drag them back with everyone else. So yeah, some great games on show this week, and yeah, that pretty much wraps us up, I believe, unless there's anyone in chat wants to say anything.
Don't forget, all matches are live on FIFA Plus, and make sure that you check the times on New Zealand Football website. And also, A-League starts this weekend, so there's a lot of football this weekend.
Hold on. The perfect meme for this.
Oh, God. Is that a Phoenix meme again?
No, not Phoenix meme.
Oh, of course it is.
Hold on.
What? What was it?
You'll see in the sec. And that's where we'll be leaving it off. Brisbane, no, not Brisbane. Adelaide United, Sydney FC kicking off very soon, and in half an hour, in fact. And I believe the fantasy lockout is in like 8 minutes, so good luck with that.